Ladies and gentlemen, rock fans, welcome back to another episode of MPJ New Rock Album Review Show. I'm Nige, we have Pete, we have Simon, we have William. Welcome, gang. How are you?
Hi. Living the dream.
Yeah, how am I? How do you think I am wearing this shirt after this week?
Pretty terrible.
This is not a football podcast, Peter. It's a music podcast, not a football podcast. Okay, unless you're going to
If you didn't want me to talk about it, you could not have invited me on this glorious day.
And it is a beautiful day here in the UK. It's summer. We've gone from 15 degrees to 25, and it's beautiful sunshine. So can't knock that.
Yep.
You know,
Same here.
Oh, right. So if you're tuning for the first time, we review the latest rock albums, rate them out of 5 for our listening pleasure. We say listening pleasure, we are not technical, we're not musicians. Don't ask us about anything else other than, did we enjoy it? We're going to talk a lot of fluff and nonsense. Give a rating out of 5. By the time we do these 8 shows with this bunch of retrobates, then we have done 697 albums. I say you go in, it should be 698, but of course one is a duplicate Atreyu, which is a crossover between both stages. So it's 697 albums reviewed, and it's an interesting show. And we're going to kick off with Crippled Black Phoenix. And to pronounce it, I'm going to pass over to my librarian, Simon. Simon, pronounce this album.
Sceaduhelm.
But it's not spelt at all like that. But it has some meaning to it. It has some meaning to it.
Sceaduhelm it's in Old English and it's in Beowulf, according to Google. So
stop ruining it. The dark arts of podcasting. That's great. Okay, so we might as well start with you then, Simon. What do you think of this album? We've not reviewed them before, so.
Yeah, and much like a Sceaduhelm, they probably should have stayed in the dark. I spoke to Nigel about this when we were talking about the albums. I'm surprised. This is one of the ones I'm surprised he actually did put on this month, just because, not because spoilers, not because it's terrible. It's just really don't feel like it fits a lot of what we listen to a lot of the time. But then we're on a journey, aren't we? We're trying new things. So with that mentioned, didn't really like it. I just found a lot of it was really slow and sluggish. I felt like it had quite a few of the tracks had like these really big, almost minute-long intro build-ups to nothing. Like they just didn't really go anywhere. There are a couple of like kind of like a bit more pulse-pounding ones like Ravenettes and stuff, and I get it for like, you know, the odd track like The Void or something. Yeah, sure, you could be more melancholic, but I guess maybe this is just the genre they live within. That's fine. That's up to them. It's not something I particularly enjoyed, really. It's not something I'd go back and listen to again. Like I said, there's so many long intros. And because we do review this as an album, over an hour long, for us, that's quite a long album of relatively repetitive, slow, drudging music. So feel a bit bad, but just was not my cup of tea at all. Sorry.
Talking about
pun intended.
Talk about slow and drudgy. It's William. Now I don't normally insult you. I don't normally insult you, do I? I don't. I
deserve it. It's fine.
Well, it's only because you were late.
Yeah, that's it. I deserve it. Kind of similarly to Simon, really. I'm not massively myself a big fan of those kind of slower, like dark rock, dark metal kind of things, like black metal kind of vibe stuff, where it's just slow vocals, slow instrumentals, just this. Just that ominous kind of sounding instruments. I don't know how to best say it. Which did rather hamper my enjoyment of this one quite a bit as well. I don't think it's bad by any means, but as I've probably said hundreds of times at this point, as someone who listens to a lot of bands like Electric Callboy, where it's very fast, very in your face, very energetic, having something that's so slow and dark like this is like the anti-Will album at this point. It's sure if this is your cup of tea, you will absolutely love this, but for me personally, it's a bit lacking in a bit of oomph.
Ooh. Now, you can't say today, of all days, with Arsenal being champion and him having a tattoo of Arsenal on his leg, that he is anything but slow and damp. It's peaked.
Damp?
I don't know. Well, you know.
Or
It's raining.
of England.
I don't know why the
Really?
word damp put in my head. It just did. But there we go.
So,
What do you think?
yeah, so normally the way these things go is Simon and Will complain about an intro track, and I sit there like, guys, come on, you got to see it in the bigger picture, and it's got value, it's got a function. But this time, I'm fully in that camp. Like, what the fuck was this first track? It's like, it is way too long. It is completely meaningless. I don't know what it is. It sounds like a bunch of cartoon characters talking to each other. And I was imagining like this 1950s Cuphead style cartoon going on in my head when I was listening to it. I don't want to skip it, but then I was like, no, I got to see where this goes. And then after that, like that 4-minute wait, the second track kicks in, and it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just start playing a normal song. And I'm like, well, why did you need a 4-minute intro for that? Like, didn't make a lot of sense. So yeah, I was off to bad starts. I was trying to get into it with like this entire spacey, mysterious sounds. They use different vocalists. I think I've heard at least 3 different vocalists, and the first 2. So I think there was one vocalist for the second song that was female. I think there was a different vocalist for the third song, which was like this higher pitched male voice. Which is like, yeah, it's okay. Those 2 tracks, the second and third track, they had like this a bit of grungy sound, I feel. So yeah, it was okay to listen to, but didn't quite get me. And then that 4th track started, No Epitaph / The Precipice. This had a more heavy set male voice, which for some reason I'm a fan of. I don't know. And then it started to click to me what that song kind of reminded me of and where they draw their influences from. This reminded me of Pink Floyd. Now, you all know
I knew you were
how
going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. I had it written down. I bet he's going to mention Pink Floyd here, but there we go.
The moment they started sounding like Pink Floyd, I was there for it. That song, also 8.5 minutes long, bit short, but okay. Brilliant. I loved it. I loved that song. It is so great. And after that, I was hoping the album would really take off and we'd be more of that. Which is why I disagree with Simon that he said it's like monotonous. I thought it was quite diverse, this album. It had a little bit of 90s rock, it had a little bit of 80s psychedelic rock, and it alternated between those things. And in the end, to me, it was not enough 80s psychedelic rock like Pink Floyd. But the moments they did sound like Pink Floyd, I was loving it. But yeah. I ran the album out, and it didn't peak again like that 4th track, No Epitaph, The Precipice. But yeah, still very enjoyable listen, except for the first track.
Yeah, it's a type of album, isn't it? That you're gonna absolutely. And I actually agree with Pete and disagree with Simon that this is certainly not a monotonous same thing over. I think in tempo, I would say you're right. The tempo really never changed. In terms of musicality and what was in there, it was incredibly varied and incredibly technical. And
maybe I just zoned out.
Yeah, well, but the thing is, for me, half of it was dull as shit, and the other half was really interesting. You know, it's a typical Pink Floyd type of album. Half it's really cool, the other half is just a piece of shit, really, to be honest with you. For my listening pleasure, and I I'm not talking about technicality. My listening pleasure, and that opening track sounded like some sort of version of the Penguin. And I expected Batman to appear at any moment. And then I was thinking, is this some sort of concept album? And I couldn't fathom that out, in the slightest way. And I don't think it was. It was just totally. it was a bit bizarre, really. And you say, what bearing did I have? I'd love to get them on for an interview and drill into their heads. So some of it I quite enjoyed, and then some of it I just didn't. It was just totally lost on me. And that's the problem for me with prog rock. And I think this was for me slightly cut above typical prog rock because it was so varied in terms of some of his musicality and some of his influences that it was trying to bring to the fore. But I can't deal with an 8-minute song. For me, it's just not really kind of my cup of tea. So yeah, elements in there I enjoyed, and elements that I didn't really. So right, well, let's find out, shall we? In terms of what we're going to, how we're going to score this then. So we'll give ratings out of 5, and then we will basically see if it gets into a Hall of Fame, it gets 4 or more, or where it's ended up out of about 697 albums that we reviewed. Simon, let's start with you then. Sceaduhelm, did it come out of the shadows for you?
Oh, I think you're going to be dropping my score, 1.5.
William?
Not far off Simon, I gave it a 2.
I give this a 2.5. What about you, Pete?
My God, guys! I forgot to give a shout out to the album art, which I really loved, and I gave this album a 4.
Ooh, that's a good score.
Who is this guy?
Who's this guy? Trish give this a 3. I give us a 2.5. I think I've already mentioned that. So, in total, it got an average of 2.6, I'm afraid. So it is above average, but not above average for us. It got the top 600. Got top 600, 595th. And out of 68 albums reviewed this month, it's our 63rd favourite. I wouldn't say our 5th least favourite, but it's our 63rd favourite album of the year so far. But there we go. So not a winner for us, but I think the prog rock fraternity should give it a go. I think they probably quite like it. There's some good stuff in there. Okay, right. Well, let's finish off with our 2-word review. Shall we, Simon?
Oh, Crippled Shadow.
Shadow. William.
Jaws slow.
Pete.
More Floyd.
What? Sorry.
More Floyd.
Okay. Suitably morose. Morose is the word I'm looking for. Morose. Bit damp, wasn't it? Anyway, right, what do you guys think out there? Go on, please subscribe, do a like or dislike, whatever. Have some reaction to that. Leave a comment below. In the meantime, keep safe and keep on rocking.
Bye.